Howdy Daydreamers, and welcome to Dakota Daydreams. I'm Dakota, and today I'd like to introduce Theories of a Daydreamer. Now, this series is going to range across all kinds of topics, from random things that just don't quite fit into anything else I have a series running for, all the way up to hot topics, political issues, and current events. However, I will be doing my best to stay neutral and informative and provide links for research, if that makes sense. Because all too often, I get lost in thought and I think about anything and everything and all of the things I've ever learned and how they interact together and their relevance to Earth, and how no matter what, this planet keeps on turning. All of the tidal locked moons and planets that just face one direction all of the time, and all of the cosmic events that have ever happened in history, and the planet Earth keeps on turning. And all of the events that have happened since humans started to be human more than hominid, if that makes sense. Everything that has separated us, brought us together, torn the planet halfway apart from our perspective. We survive through it, and we all live on the same rock in the middle of space. This is one thing every person alive has in common. Every person who ever was alive has in common. And this week, while thinking about that, my thoughts kept circling to the United States and all of the things going on right now. All of the people crying out for change and going unheard, or the change making everything so much worse than it was. And some upcoming events honestly make me pretty nervous. How we live in a country and we learn, first of all of its civic duties and how to be a good citizen and active in your community, and how we're a democracy, so everyone gets to vote, so their voice is heard. And this is the marketing that I was given for this country my entire childhood. But it feels like the older I get, the harder it is to get anyone to listen, especially when it comes to significant things that are actually very serious. But many people get distracted by the way they're color coded and never actually discuss the issue at hand, because they're arguing over who agrees with who exactly. When honestly, in truth, reality, and maturity, it does not matter who someone is, it matters what they do. Their actual measurable actions are what determine the quality of the human being and their fitness for the job that they're trying to do, if that makes sense. And all of that brought my thoughts to No King's Day. Now, there's a lot of debate going on with different news outlets over what this day is. And so far, the one I've found that seems to have the most information about what's going on has been on indivisible.org, which I'll link in the description. But things that I've noticed it seems most agree on is that No King's Day will be taking place on June 14th of 2025, and it's going to be a major moment in USA history. It may even be a major day in international history, because I've read there's a lot of protests organized in multiple countries. So it's going to be a moment where we are all paying attention to each other. Now, here's the part where the debate comes in over what this day is. See, June 14th of 2025 is a few different things. It seems that it happens to be Flag Day. It's the 250th anniversary of the US Navy, the current president's birthday, and a day that a major military parade is planned that involves tanks and streets, which historically is rather unnerving because generally we don't need that type of display as human beings in a society. Like, that's just generally unnecessary, and I personally view it as a large waste of money with the situations we have going on with people. Like, when there's not enough budget, allegedly, for food items, if there's not enough budget, allegedly, for healthcare, why is there enough budget for a military parade? Does that make sense? So, what do we do on an individual level? How do we take care of each other in our communities? How do we make sure this does not turn into any of the situations it echoes from history? What do we do differently to make it different, make it safe, make it a place everyone is welcome and happy as we were told it was while we were growing up? I have a few ideas. It starts with connecting, because first you have to know who is around you, what are they wanting, what is the actual majority vote. Does that make sense? Like, that way you know exactly what is supposed to be happening based off of the wants and needs of those in the area. So we know which way it makes sense for the representatives of that area to be going. Check in with each other to make sure we are all still okay, because these are honestly scary times where we have to be making sure people are okay, because what if their healthcare just got cut? Like, do you know? You know? And be safe. If you feel like you have a flu coming on, this is definitely a time where we should be masking so we don't get others sick, because someone might not be able to afford it, especially in the people who are most vulnerable to get sick, anyways, being partially the elderly, the disabled, the people who already have things going on. They're the ones that are getting hurt the worst by policies that cut into healthcare and social security networks to provide security for those of us who are too ill, too hurt, to whatever, to provide that security for ourselves until such a time we are able to again. So if you know that you yourself are sick, please be safe and try to keep the others around you safe as well. Another idea I've had is we need to start discussing the issues without political affiliation in the conversation. The more we argue over Democrat, Republican, red issue, blue issue, the less actually gets done about the problems, and the worse people actually end up being, because too many people are arguing to pass the policies that would help them. It's a situation of we need to stop looking at which party is pushing it and actually start reading the fine print and figuring out what is being pushed, what is the issue, and discuss amongst each other the outcome we actually want from the issue. This will help us all get on the same page as a community. This will help us get to know our neighbors without arguing over, well, you associate with this specific thing, so you must believe this. No, actually talk and get to know each other. And then contact the representatives you voted for because you are paying them with your tax dollars after you voted them in, or they got voted in your state. They still represent you, whether you voted them in or not. So contact them. Let them know what is actually the goal of the people in their community. And yet another idea that I've had is inspired by old school protests, because they used to have a call and then response style to get everyone to speak their piece. And I'm wondering if that's what we need to re solidify being on the same page. Maybe once a year on this day, we remind ourselves no, we do not have a king, we have representatives. And to properly have representatives and find representatives that are good for our entire community, we need to go out and get to know our community. So perhaps it's a verse like this that gets you started, or perhaps it's a more localized version with the slang of your community. But either way, if we just go one street and get ourselves a list to email the representatives about of our ideas, like start with this note card, go to the next store, have a note card of their thing. Like, let me explain this a bit better. Write a couple dozen note cards of your verse. Mention your specific policy concerns, the ones either you or people you know are directly affected by. And then we can arrange those, like number them in the order you receive them with like a pencil that you bring with you. And arrange those into an email to representatives of a full song of your street, your community, whatever scale you can get it to that year, so that there's an annual reminder to the representatives of what we as a community want and need. And we can focus on prioritizing the needs of the majority over which party someone is affiliated with by reading the small print and understanding who works for and does what when they have the ability to. I honestly believe that any or some of these ideas might make stronger communities that are more supportive of each other because they're more able to know what is needed. And I really look forward to hearing what y'all think as well. Thank you for dreaming with me, and please leave a comment down below so I can hear your thoughts on No King's Day and all of the things going on with and around that. And if you have more sources for this issue, please link them in the comments because this is something that needs to be discussed. Either way. But keep it kind, be respectful, take care of yourselves, and keep your heads in the clouds.